What is going on, everybody? Week 2 of the NFL season. The Dolphins play the New England Patriots this weekend. Week 2 is going to be a showdown, but we are here to talk about week 1. I'm joined by Jacoby, as always. Jacoby, are you recovered yet after week 1?
I'm like week 2. I'm like this has felt like a month's worth in just the short few days, man. Recovered? Yeah, I say I'm fine. I think I got it out of me by Tuesday, but I'm doing good. I'm glad to be here again. A lot to unpack about this week.
We were just talking about it right before we started this. I think now I'm on the same boat as you, where I kind of feel a little bit better myself, still upset from what I'm hearing from the team. But I think now I'm kind of like, all right, now I'm ready for week 2. But it was dark, man. It took me a lot of long hours, a lot of trying to convince myself it's week 1. It's just like the play was just unacceptable, man. But what are your takeaways from that week 1 briefly?
And my takeaways is that nothing has changed. You hear it all off season long. Culture change. Like they're gonna come out. This team is close. This team's fighting for one another. I didn't see any of that, man. They came out as flat as possible. Defense just had trouble getting in a rhythm the entire first drive. It was able to hold them to a field goal. I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's see what the offense does. And right off the bat, man, an interception by Tua. Like my biggest takeaways is that they just laid over and took it. Nobody looked pissed off. Nobody looked like they had any fire. They were already finger pointing, fights on the sideline. So just to sum it up, nothing's changed. It's the same team and with the same issues. So until I see something different, that's how it's going to be.
And so where do you put? All right, better say. I mean, obviously it was disastrous, bro. Like I mean, you talk about it on all phases, bro. Like everything was a disaster. Probably the only good thing was probably the kick returns, to be honest with you. Like that was about it, and that's just crazy. What I mean, whose shoulder does this fall on the most? Are you going the Mike McDaniel route? Is this Tua? Is this a little bit of all the above, or where are you at with this?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go Mike McDaniel because, again, these guys are not prepared. We saw it again, man. How many they had to use all their timeouts in the second half because they can't get up to the line and ready to run a play before the clock's going to expire. We've been seeing that since year 1 of Mike McDaniel. It's purely unacceptable, man. I thought the play calling was pretty weak. Obviously, Tua didn't help them out too much on those couple interceptions that he had. There was wide open options there. But it falls solely on the head coach, man. Guys didn't look prepared. 12 men on the field. That penalty happened as well. And it's just the same stuff we're used to seeing with this team not coming out lackadaisical, not being ready to go. So I'm going to definitely take the McDaniel route, man, because as a coach myself, that's solely on the head coach, in my honest opinion.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm with you on that, man. Like, obviously, I'm annoyed about Tua and the turnovers. That's absolutely inexcusable. But I think this loss falls more on Mike McDaniel, man. The way that you just didn't have your team prepared week 1, where you were on the hot seat potentially last year. Stephen Ross says, hey, we want stability. We're going to keep you here. You go through the whole offseason and training camp basically on the hot seat, and you're preaching a culture change. And that's how you show up against the Indianapolis Colts. That's why when I have a couple buddies texting me, dude, why are you freaking out? It's just week 1. It's like, no, it is week 1. You're right about that. But it's just the combination of stuff that we've been dealing with as a team and as a fan base. It's just unacceptable to have your boys come in like that and play at that level, not be able to respond to the adversity, which he always talks about, right? So here comes Tua facing adversity, throwing an interception. What does he do? Then fumbles the ball and throws another one. And it sucks that Mike McDaniel still hasn't found out that once a team takes away the middle of the field and makes Tua look like garbage, what is your option? He didn't have counters at all. It's like he just is on a one-way street. And that stuff is just frustrating with Mike McDaniel, man.
Yeah, I agree. And, I hear a lot of people say, like this offense is so complex and it produces very little results. Like you hear about it all the time, like that's probably a big reason why the Dolphins struggle with getting to the line in time because the play calling is so extreme. We've heard Tua even talk about that before. And a lot of people will be like, there's a reason why he's stuck with Skylar Thompson. There's a reason why he always brought back Jeff Wilson. It's because they know this system because it's so complicated for guys to learn. So, but like for me, I'm like, okay, if you're going to have such a complex system, this better be producing results and be unique. And we're seeing the same shit every week, man. So that's just what was so frustrating, man. It's just, I wanted to see this team come out with some fire, make a statement for this culture change shit that we keep hearing. And we didn't see any of that, man. And it was, and honestly, it was not surprising. It wasn't like, oh wow, where's this coming? Like, no, like, okay, this is exactly what I expected. So that's what was the most frustrating part, man, is that these glaring issues have been here for way too long without them being addressed.
Yeah, and it's getting to a point where, to me, it's like I was already not a fan of Mike McDaniel headed to the season, but now it's like every little thing that he does that's wrong, I see it even bigger, man. Even when it comes to just his quirky jokes and all these stuff, his sarcasm and his pressers, like I don't even care to hear it anymore. But you send me these two pictures on Sunday, and I want you to talk about what exactly you're pointing out here.
This was just utterly frustrating because I watched this play unfold as it happened, and Tua, I just, what the hell are you seeing, man? This is the play that as it was evolved, you got a wide open option. It's 3rd and 3. You need to get the first down. You still have plenty of time in this ball game to come back. And then there it is right there. Throws it into almost damn near triple coverage, man. I don't understand what is he seeing there. And it's just concerning. You play this guy big money, top 10 money to be your franchise quarterback. And how many times have we seen plays like that? Who the fuck are you throwing it to? What are you seeing there? It's absolutely concerning and frustrating for Fins fans. And how you defend it, I have no idea. I was at a loss I saw that play unfold, and I literally couldn't believe it. I didn't think it was going to be possible for him to throw a pick there, seeing that wide open option right near the first down marker.
It's just crazy. It's just great. And then Omar Kelly, I don't know if you saw, he actually called him out. He said, is this, you usually a quarterback that your turnovers come in bunches. Is it that you're pressing? And I'm thinking he's actually going to say, yeah, like he's trying to force the issue. They're down by 20. And he's like, no, you kidding me? No, my turnovers come in bunches. Like that's insane. Like that's crazy. Like, are you kidding me? Like your turnovers actually do come in bunches. Like
they literally do. Your first 2 drives were interceptions.
Yeah.
This team had the ball for what? Like they had 40 something total yards in the first half, and 2 of your 4 drives were turnovers by you.
It's crazy.
And dude, they're the same type of turnovers, forcing it to something that just was never there and not securing the football when pressure gets to you. It's the same turnovers that we see from Tua. If they were like batted away, deflected, but they were in the right spot, you can work with that. But these are the same turnovers that we see from Tua day in and day out. And it's so frustrating. And him being a little smart ass to the reporters there makes the issue even like more agonizing to the fans. Like, dude, own up to your fucking mistakes. And, we took a big shot at you, paying you all this money, and you've shown us nothing since then. So like that as a fan, I was just like, fuck you, dude. Like I was so pissed. Like I turned away the social media for the rest of the evening.
And then it doesn't stop there. And then this is also something else that Tua said. So Tua said here that this is pretty much him talking a lot about the guys being in on Tuesday. And he's talking about, I want to see if the same guys are watching film on Tuesday. I want to see how everyone goes about their process. So now, after the game, this dude, instead of just taking it all on himself and holding himself accountable as the quarterback, now he's trying to supervise other people. Oh, who else on my team is going to be here too? How about you worry about you being there and doing your job and protecting the football and not throwing the ball away? If we can go with that, then maybe we'd be in a better position. But no, this guy, he thinks he's a little hard ass now all of a sudden, and he's worried about other people. Like, yo, I don't know what's up to his head lately, but this is not the same little softy that we saw before when he was crying when Flores was too hard on him and everything. And the fact that he's playing like crap, it doesn't help his case at all.
No, it doesn't. And you couldn't go more correct there, man. I'm like, okay, leave your damn teammates out of this. Like, obviously, you like just for once take some accountability, like own up to the damn mistakes and be like, hey, I'm going to get in there and I'm going to get to work right away. But no, he's like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to see who's coming with these. I'm going to take the rest of the team down with me because everybody's coming at me. It's pathetic, man. It's not. If anyone says that's leadership, it's not leadership. A real leader is going to take the fault for his team. Like, he's going to stick. He's like, hey, you know what? Those plays were on me. I talked to my guys after that. I'm going to own up to it. Tyreek was wide open. Like, the ball was like in the right direction, and he just sailed it over and got it intercepted on that first turnover. Mm-hmm. So we didn't hear any of that, and except we saw him laughing on the sideline after the interception. So
which is just ridiculous. And then you see the clip of Tyreek being mad. But honestly, Tyreek, he has the right to be mad, man. Listen, like he's a player and the quarterback's not giving him the football. The dude wants to win. He's showing me that he cares more than Tua because he's not laughing about it. So I'm on Tyreek's side right there.
100%. And I'm just like, oh, go on.
Yeah, no, I want to share these two things. These were quotes from Xavier Howard. Xavier Howard says this: "We knew he gets the ball out pretty quick, and once we take away his first read, I feel like it's panic mode after that, and it showed yesterday." This was a quote from Xavier Howard talking about Tua, and a second quote he says here is that talking about his defense, what he told them. I told them clog up the middle and make sure they throw the ball outside. We got 2 interceptions by clogging up the middle. This is, to me, this is a huge problem. All right. This is a guy that played with Tua for 3-4 years. And the fact that he just says that so loosely, there goes to show you, even when he was on the team, those people probably just had to just be quiet, but they all didn't even believe in Tua. And the fact that teams have caught up to how to stop Tua and how to make Tua panic, you saw a lot of this against the Houston Texans last year. How does the team not do this? How is Anthony Weaver doing these same things? If not, I want him to do this, because how is Tua not being able to adjust to these type of things? How is he carving up our team in training camp? And we're hearing that Tua hasn't thrown turnovers in training camp and he's dicing them up. And then we get up to the real game and then all of these guys are stopping him. What is the issue here that I'm not seeing?
That sure is the question, because, to me, we see this every year. It goes fully back to the coaching staff. In this case, they can't adjust. They can't throw counters out there. And, I don't want to get too hard on Anthony Weaver, because that defense secretary is just set up for failure off the get-go, in my opinion. But, Mike McDaniel, this is like he's the head coach. He oversees everything on this organization. The head coach has the power to override any decision within the team, regardless of the personnel. And, we've just seen the same things. Who's to say he's actually making sure the defense is getting the job done and making sure they're getting the right counter set up for that week. And God forbid we've seen an adjustment out of him in the first few years. I've seen it live. I think the Chargers were the first team to successfully take the middle away from Miami back in McDaniel's first year. And then once teams caught on to that, there's no help in it. So in my opinion, there's just no excuse, especially from someone from the Shanahan tree that gets all this praise from coaches around the league. You got to be able to adjust. And on top of that, you have to establish a disciplined culture. These players are going to want to have to adjust, and you don't see that from these players. So I think it's just a mixture of deficiencies that Mike McDaniel doesn't bring to the table, and it just sets up the team for failure.
And this is just too much. This is too much. The fact that we've had this situation for going on now multiple years where people know how to stop Tua, and then neither Tua or Mike McDaniel have a counter to that. Still to this day. So what if people just take away the middle and make you turn the ball over twice? That's it. You have no answer. The game is over. So basically, if that happens in the first quarter, we can just chalk it up and turn the game off. That's just ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Mike McDaniel and Tua both need so much. It's ridiculous, man. Right? All the excuses that we've been saying for Tua. If Tua had a good line, the offensive line actually held their own, to be honest, and Tua still freaking sucks. So miss me with that. Oh, Tua needs a running game. Tua needs Tyreek. Tua needs Tyreek and Waddle at the same time. Oh, if Tua had this. Oh, if Mike McDaniel, like, yo, how about we just start judging on results at this point and get rid of the problems? And we know the two main problems. I feel like to be successful in the NFL, give me a good head coach and a good damn quarterback. Look at Minnesota. That's a prime example. That's a good head coach over there, offensive minded. And look at what he's able to do with Sam Darnold last year. Look at what he just did on Monday night with JJ McCarthy. Like, that's a guy that shows me what he knows what he's able to do. And also, he had Kirk Cousins playing solid football.
I just want to say this right now. The Indianapolis Colts did not respect Miami from the second they got onto the field to start that game. They won the toss. They took the ball. They went for it on every fourth down possible and ran that score up. Mike McDaniel is not a respected coach. We see him get outcoached all the time. We saw Harbaugh run the score up on him in the midst of a number one seed game. We've seen it time and time. I do not see the Miami Dolphins as a respected opponent from anyone, especially when they went to Green Bay last year. You know damn well Green Bay was licking their chops because they know Miami was coming to the cold. Buffalo does the same thing. They come into your home every single year. They pounce on you and they showboat. They wave bye to your fans. You're not a respected opponent to anyone in the NFL. And that, to me, starts with the head coach. You have to establish a dominant and tough culture to be a feared opponent in the NFL. Like I said, Indianapolis did not fear them once. They pounced on them, and they made sure they didn't let up off the gas, and it was pretty embarrassing.
It's getting pretty damn embarrassing. But let's flip this page, man. Let's talk about week 2. We have another game to cover here. The Dolphins are taking on the Patriots. Dolphins are at home. This is their home opener. Going against a Patriots team with a young Drake May, a new head coach over there, Mike Vrabel, who is a phenomenal head coach, in my opinion. Jacoby, man, what are your thoughts heading into this game? What are your thoughts on the New England Patriots and how they're looking?
Yeah, so kind of was underwhelmed in their first game against the Raiders. I think they give them a pretty good grit and fight there. It was pretty neck and neck throughout the entire of the game. Drake May, pretty solid day, 30 for 46, 287 yards, 1 touchdown, and did throw an interception as well. But I think any team coached by Mike Vrabel is going to be one of those those hard-headed teams that are going to give you problems on the defensive end. And I don't think they can go. I don't think Miami's in any position to undermine any opponent, but especially the Patriots. I wasn't too blown away by anything I saw, but I surely think Miami could definitely struggle against them for sure.
Yeah, I definitely think so too. I had this game, I had the double box going on. I was really watching this game closely. Drake May has some flashes there, some plays, but majority of the Patriots fan base was kind of frustrated because he did throw an interception, like you mentioned. He also did fumble. The offensive line play over there. I mean, we talk about our offensive line struggles. Their offense, I thought our offensive line played pretty good on week 1. Theirs, on the other hand, was a complete disaster. You talk about penalties, they racked up a lot of penalties on the offensive line. Their first round pick, Will Campbell, also got beat a couple times. He looked pretty bad. And he also gave up the sack fumble to Drake May. So their O-line wasn't sharp. So they're a little bit worried about that. And I think that the Dolphins defense should definitely take advantage of that. Also, their rookie, Travion Henderson, was a complete non-factor. I mean, he had 5 yards per carry. He had a lot of catches out of the passing game. But, the Patriots want to get that guy going if they want to have success. So I was a little bit surprised by that.
No, yeah, they couldn't really establish a run game at all. Henderson with only 5 carries for 27 yards, and Ramondre Stevenson 7 carries for 15 yards. So
Yeah.
they really couldn't establish a run game at all. And that is going to be a good test for this defensive front line for the Miami Dolphins that we've heard all offseason long. So I'm excited for the challenge for sure. I want to see, Chubb continue to be effective like he was last week. Let's see Kenneth Grant get in there. This could be a good test. If New England struggles to establish their run game again, Miami could make them have to throw all game long like they did against Vegas.
Yeah. And so what worries you most about this Patriots team? Remember, I will say this. One thing that did impress me, though, is their ability to stop the run. They had Genty on lockdown, and they really tried to get Genty going. And, he scored a touchdown, but he really couldn't get going. If you look at his yards, what worries you the most about this matchup?
No, yeah, I would definitely say along those lines because I think, having Devon Achan struggled to get going until the garbage time touchdown there at the end. You want Achan to be effective in this offense to open up more opportunities for the Dolphins. So that definitely does raise a concern. And another thing that's concern for me is I think they have some pretty solid weapons in their receiving game. They do have they did get Stephon Diggs this offseason, and they have Hunter Henry, and we all know that Miami just cannot cover a tight end to save their lives.
Mhm.
So I definitely can see Miami's secondary struggling again because they're already going to be dealing with some injuries. So it just for me right now, it's just I think our defense is going to have to set the tone for this game until offense can gain some momentum. But you're going to have to come up with a plan because if they put Achan on the lockdown like they did against Genty, we're going to have to see. And right now I really don't trust the passing game, so we're going to definitely have to see there.
Yeah, I'm worried about a lot of different things here. Most importantly is Mike Vrabel, man. I have so much
Yep.
respect for Vrabel and the Vrabel effect that's going to take place in New England. They lost the game, and this is a good coach that's going to look at film, that's going to address these issues, that's going to hold the people accountable. And I really think we're going to see probably a way different New England Patriots team than that was on display week 1 against the Raiders, man. Although there were still some bright spots. The pass rush was good from the New England Patriots, and that's a Patriots team that really didn't rack up a lot of sacks or pressures last season. So the fact that they were able to get home on Geno Smith, granted, he did throw for over 300 yards. You're like, okay, but he threw 300. But the pass rush was there. Like, they were able to get pressure, especially Harold Landry, who just joined the team. He's a Vrabel guy, had 2 sacks, couple tackles for a loss. And then you talked about Hunter Henry. I mean, that's a tight end who had 8 targets. That's pretty much going to be the quarterback's best friend. And he had a good game against us last season. I think they're going to go to him again. We saw what Tyler Warren was able to do against us. So that's another reason for me to be a little bit scared.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we'll see what this team's made of. Let's see how they respond. All eyes are on you right now. Every single media outlet team, they're looking at you. I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure you scored the least amount of points out of the NFL in the week 1. So I'm looking forward to see how this team responds because you got a pretty tough schedule coming up after. And from the look at it, the AFC East, it's got some ballers this year. From week 1, we'll see what happens.
I will say the Dolphins better hope that Christian Gonzalez is out for this game. He is a tremendous cornerback, their number 1 cornerback in New England. He missed the first game with a hamstring injury. He did not practice today, but he is still not ruled out. So if he's playing in that game, that will be trouble. And here's the rest of the injuries that went down with today's practices. You got Ethan Bonner, who did not practice with the hamstring. Storm Duck is most likely out with the ankle. Austin Jackson, Mike McDaniel said today that he is under the impression that he's going to be out for this game. Benito Jones did not practice. Darren Waller, of course, that's no surprise there. We don't have to touch on it. Jalen Wright, no surprise. Ashton Davis, limited. And newly, Jalen Waddle on as a limited participant with the shoulder. We are down James Daniels as well, who went down in the very first quarter, and he's expected to miss 3 to 4 weeks. So we have 2 backup offensive linemen starting on the right side, which is Tua's blind side.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that, Jacoby?
Hey, told you, Savanaya, ready to see what he does. We'll see how he steps up to the opportunity for the Dolphins on the O line. So, but am I surprised? No. I mean, obviously, this is just what happens. Miami brings in injury-prone players, and they don't practice. The majority of the year. But obviously, since the McDaniel regime took over, honestly, with Wednesday practices, I take him with a grain of salt because they typically rest all of them on Wednesdays and then they practice the rest of the days. So tomorrow will be a little more telling for me, but it's just not surprising. At this point, it's just annoying. I'm just done having like a freaking receipt long injury report every fucking week. So it's just agonizing, but wasn't surprised at all. And Waddle just can't seem to catch a break. Getting hurt every time, man. It just feels like every time he touches the ball, he ends up getting nicked for it. So it's just very frustrating.
Yeah, it's getting really frustrating with Waddle. I feel like every time he gets hit, he's either limping off, coming off, or has some sort of injury after that. Like whether he misses long amount of time, probably not, but he's always getting banged up, always, always, always. And it's like, damn, man, we cannot have any luck. But that's a big news for the right side of the offensive line. I mean, your right tackle is out and your right guard is out. And that is Tua's blind side with a team that's coming off a good game when it comes to a pass rushing standpoint. So I think this is trouble for the Miami Dolphins. This is trouble for Tua. That's obviously doesn't have eyes in the back of his head. I mean, and the ones in front don't really work that well either.
Yeah,
Clearly,
no, I was gonna say, like, are we sure he's got eyes? Period.
but this seems like it's trouble, trouble, trouble this weekend. It's not going to be an easy game, not at all. But Jacoby, if the Dolphins were to win this game, give me your 3 keys to victory.
Yeah, man. My first key to victory is you got to limit your turnovers. You got to take care of the football, especially against a New England Patriots team that really struggled. You can't let them get momentum. You really can't. Obviously we're playing at home. Probably going to be a bunch of Patriots fans. Don't let the momentum limit the turnovers. Take care of the damn football. Second key to this game is you also got to keep your composure. Stop getting rattled after every little inconvenient. And this goes not just for the quarterback, but this goes, throughout the entire team. Stop throwing tantrums on the sideline. Keep your composure. One bad play happens. Get back up. Get ready to go again. And you're going to be just fine. You got to utilize that. And, we'll see how they respond. Like I said, if this team could just keep their composure and not let anything like that we saw last week where they're just getting all upset, I think we'll be in much better position. And then my third key to the game is you got to wake up the home crowd early. Okay. You got to get out there, score first, get the momentum on your side, and just go from there. And I think they're going to be just fine. But, obviously you can't shoot yourself in the foot. That's where it's going to come down to. This team is going to beat themselves or they're going to win the game.
Yeah, I absolutely like that, especially the keep your composure part. I think you kind of nailed that. It's true because you saw the Dolphins really get out of character early, and we felt it's like the game was over at that point once you're acting like that, right? It's like how many times have we seen? I hate to compare, but you think about Tom Brady, bro. Like how many times you see Tom Brady always say like, "Yo, let's go, let's go, let's go." You know what I mean?
Yep.
Even when they're down, like it just
exactly 100%.
You don't see that crap, man. I have some similar keys, a little bit similar to last week, but that's because they didn't execute none of the keys that we threw out there.
100%.
Number one, I'm with you, man. Win the turnover battle, especially after last week, man. Both teams obviously are coming off bad turnover games, both the Patriots and the Dolphins. So I expect both to clean that up. But who's going to clean it up more? You have to win that turnover battle because clearly it looks like if we throw multiple interceptions, this team is going to struggle to really capitalize. So you have to win the turnover battle. I'm with you. That's my number one key. My second key is the pass rush. Man, I've been talking about this pass rush all off season, and it was non-existent in week 1.
Yep.
You have to be existent here in week 2. Drake May is still a young quarterback. You can get him rattled. You're at home. You basically had an extra week off because I didn't see you guys perform in week 1. Make your presence felt, man. Like, get home to the quarterback. Get a damn sack. You got enough weapons to play with. Listen, the DBs are probably going to get cooked. I give them a pass. But the pass rush, to be non-existent and make Daniel Jones look like Peyton Manning, like somebody said in the comments, you can't have that here, all right? You can't have that. So, listen, brush it off. You're at home. Like, get home on Drake May. And my third and final key is Hill and Waddle. Listen, if it's both, cool. But at least one of them has to give me like over 90 yards, man. Waddle had 144 yards and a touchdown in the last matchup against New England. He's had some good games against New England. So has Tua. Waddle had 30 yards against the Colts, and Hill had 40. I mean, that's just inexcusable. It really is, man. It really is. Like, where are the deep shots in this team? Like, at least freaking take them, especially when you're down by that many points. You're at home now. You've had success against the Patriots. Get Hill and Waddle going early. If not, at least one of them has to give me over 90 yards. Has to.
Yeah, I think you absolutely have to. And I think it's going to be Tyreek Hill because I thought Miami struggled to get Waddle involved at all, even before he got hurt. And I think Tua I think the saying that Tua doesn't look past his first progression could not be more real, especially after this past week. He looked at Tyreek every single time. So I think Tyreek's going to be that guy to get you over 90 yards. And if it's going to happen, I think he's going to be that guy.
Listen, and let's say Christian Gonzalez plays and he's on Tyreek or whatever the
Yep.
case is. Then look to Waddle. Listen, Geno Smith had 340 yards against his Patriots defense. Come on, man. Like, come on. Come on. And I would love to say that the running game is a key, but honestly, the Patriots shut that run down, number one. That's one case. And number two, when we go up against a team that we should run the ball, McDaniel doesn't even run the ball anyway. So I'm not even going to waste my time.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, it's just like, I'm not even going to waste my time. Forget it. If it happens, it happens. Devon Achane, 7 carries for 55 yards. I mean, come on now. I mean,
7 carries, man.
For 55 yards. Like, hey, we had like
he had some explosive plays too, and they just don't go back to it. So
he did, man. Like, and mind you, the play call was terrible when he scored the touchdown. If it wasn't for him just willing himself to get that touchdown,
100%.
I will say, I mentioned earlier the return game. I will say Achane also had a good game. That's it.
Yeah,
that the return game and Achane. That is it. And that's similar to last year when Tua was down with the concussions and all that crap. Achane was the only bright side every single game from his production.
And that should tell you something. That means feed that man, get him involved, make him your X factor on offense. If it can't be Tyreek, if it can't be Waddle, feed Achane then, man. He's been in my opinion, he's been your most consistent player since halfway of 2023. So get him involved, but yet freaking Mike McDaniel just seems to shy away from him every time he gets hot. So that falls in the category of shooting yourself in the foot. So
it all comes down to that. Listen, if Mike McDaniel loses this game, is he fired after the game?
I think he will be after Buffalo. They won't do it on a short week. I don't think they'll do it on a short week. So I feel like if they start 0-3, I think it will. I think there's a really good chance of it happening. But in my opinion, I just want to touch base on this real quick. If Mike McDaniel gets fired within the first 6 weeks of the season, yes, I'll be happy. It's what I've wanted for 2 years, but I'm also going to be fucking frustrated because, okay, if you were going to fire him this early, you should have fired him at the beginning of the season. You could have fast-tracked this a little sooner. So in my opinion, it's a lose-lose if you fire him that early. Might as well just let him ride it out and see what happens. And if you're that far in, without a win, you might as well just ride it out. But yes, I want him gone, and I'll be even more frustrated. He should have been gone after January. So
yeah, he should. I was gonna say he should have been gone after that Jets game, honestly. And the fact that it's a little bit frustrating that we would do it this early. But listen, if you lose to New England and you lose bad, and then obviously you lose to Buffalo and you're 0-3, I'm with you, bro. I definitely think that change will happen. If not, if they win and they lose to Buffalo, it'll buy them some more time. But we're only delaying the inevitable, man. Like at
that
some
Carolina
point,
game, I have circled, to be honest. I want to see how they play in that Carolina game, and that I think if 0-3 isn't it, I think that game will tell a lot. Because who's to say they come out for that game? We'll see.
And like I said last week, listen, this is a house money season. We're not tied down to any bad money that we can't get out of at the end of the day. So if we need to pivot, hey, we might punt this year. It sucks, whatever. But listen, the brighter days will be ahead as long as we get the right guy. And that hasn't been too easy here in Miami.
Absolutely.
All right. But there is signs of hope on the other side. Listen, house money. Look, McDaniel loses this game. He's probably getting fired earlier, or we win this game and we're 1-1, man.
It's a win-win.
House money season. Jacoby, who is your winner for this game coming up week 2? Dolphins or Patriots? Who you got?
Yeah, so right now, I just don't have a reason to believe that this team is going to respond. And with how this week has progressed, and I feel like the head coach's responses and remarks and the quarterback's remarks have not been inspiring at all. So I'm going to give the edge to New England. I'm going to give Mike Vrabel his first win as the Patriots head coach in Miami, a final score of 17-10.
Ooh, Jacoby. I didn't think you were going to do it.
I just don't see it. I don't have a lot of ambition and inspiration in this team. And, if Miami would have came out and they were fighting all game, shootout, just defense couldn't get a stop, then I'm like, yeah, give me Miami for week 2. But it was a despicable display of football. You laid out, you let yourself get beat on. There was a lot of Dolphins fans too, and I felt terrible for them. There was a lot of Fins fans there, and you could just see the disappointment all game long in them. So I don't have a reason to believe this team's going to get up for each other and bounce back until I see it. From now, give me New England.
Terrible. So Jacoby's got New England. Zell in the chat says 27-13 Pats. Man,
I'm ready for you to say they're going to win by 20. Let's hear it.
I look at these two teams, man. I always come up with a nice little. I make it a dramatic here. So I'm looking at these two teams, and honestly, I feel like they're pretty damn similar, which is crazy to me because you look at all the talent we have, but you got to factor in coaching here. When you factor in Vrabel as well, these teams end up pretty damn even. And usually when it's even, I go with the better head coach, and the better head coach is Mike Vrabel in this scenario. But I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins to win this game.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins to win this game because I just don't think I don't think we're this freaking bad, man. I really don't, man. And it's freaking hard to say it after what the hell we just saw.
I don't think it's believed, to be honest with you.
I mean, what we saw was so damn disgusting. Like, there's no way we're that type of team. There's just no way. Listen, I don't know what the hell it was, man. What was in the air? But I don't think we're going to see something like that at home, like after everything. But then again, nothing surprised me with this team. Listen, I don't feel too comfortable about it. Jobs are on the line, though. And you can argue jobs were on the line even at the start of week 1. But I'm gonna give them. I'm gonna give them one more chance here.
All right.
I'm gonna give them one more chance here. I'm gonna say, hey, I'm gonna go with the narrative where, hey, it's week 1, it's early. This team will respond. They're not this bad. I'm gonna go with that side. Mike McDaniel kind of holds it together, buys himself a couple extra weeks, not the whole season now, and I don't know how the performance is going to be. I don't know if I'm not even going to speak about Tua and his bounce back. I'm going to say the Dolphins win this game. I'm not even going to throw a score. I'm not confident, but give me the Dolphins to win this game.
All right. We'll see, man.
Exactly. We shall see. We shall see.
Yeah. I mean, I tip my hat to your constant, like, stand by this team. You got always the faith in them. But for me, it's a very pessimistic era for me right now. I'm like, it's really hard to see the positive. So,
I mean, it's pretty dark. It's pretty dark. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm still, I'm still team, like, get rid of McDaniel. So I do, I have some sense of what I'm saying. I think Tua is better than what we saw, but at the end of the day, I would opt to look somewhere else. I'm still on that line. But I like the Dolphins this week. I'm a little bit, I'm still realistic. I feel like it's fair. Like, I'd rather move on from Tua. I'd rather move on from McDaniel. But I think this team is capable of winning football games and playing way better than we did against the Colts. That was disgusting. And I think it's good that I'm saying this now, because if you asked me yesterday, I probably would have picked the Colts. So a lot has happened here within the last 24 hours, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it's been a tale of two. Like, it's felt like a few weeks have passed since the last show. So I'm like, it's like, what a week 1, and what a week 1 for Miami. But like I said, I'm looking forward to see how they respond, and who knows. But it's always good to see a good test of how they respond, especially to an on paper inferior team. Like, you are better than this team on paper. So let's see.
Yeah, but it's not going to be easy. Like I mentioned, listen, I expect Trayvon Henderson to get more touches. All right. I really do expect that. Like I mentioned, Vrabel's a hell of a coach. He's probably going to realize he should have gave more touches to Henderson. Stephon Diggs had 7 targets. Hunter Henry had 8 targets. I expect the same dosage of that. There's no reason why they would get away from that against the Dolphins DBs. And then also their pass rush, like I mentioned, played pretty good. So their offensive line now for the Dolphins is banged up. The Patriots are probably going to get more pressure as well. So you're going to get a really good game here. The Dolphins have to be ready. Will they be ready? That's what we'll have to find out.
Yep. That's a big if.
big if. You're gonna get a bounce back type of gritty Vrabel team here trying to get a victory. Let's talk about our fantasy football segment, our stardom sit-ems. If you guys have fantasy questions, put them on the chat and we will answer them after Jacoby gives his stardom sism. He said that that Josh Allen deserved a sit, but Josh Allen
Yeah,
tore it up, man.
dude, I was right until the third quarter. I think he was at like maybe 12 points. But Josh Allen does what he does, man. What a week 1 game that was. And I do want to say, if you had better options like a Lamar, like if you're a super flex, you probably can't sit him. But I feel like with his recent games against the Baltimore, it only made sense. So I was wrong.
He went into God mode. He went into some
He did. He
MVP
did
God
go into
mode.
God mode. Like I will say that.
At that point, you just got to tip your hat, Josh Allen. Dude's a fucking beast. Can't even lie.
100%. So,
all right, talk to me for this week.
Yeah, absolutely. My first sit-em of the week was the man in the Big Apple. That's going to be Justin Fields. He's going up against Buffalo, who was ranked 29th in defense this past week against quarterbacks. Lamar had a field day against Buffalo last week, and we saw some great things from Justin Fields. 29 points against the Steelers. What a Jets debut he had. Had 12 rushing attempts for 48 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. I think Justin Fields is going to be a great start this week. Really like it. And then my second stardom, the man in Miami, Drake May. I think he's going to have another great game for New England. He had a lot of passing volume last week. Had just shy of 300 yards. I think he'll have more touchdowns this week. So I think Drake May is going to be a solid start. And I think those are 2 solid stardoms to start off this week for sure.
I like it. I got Justin Fields, so I'm a little bit happy about that.
Yeah. Oh, there you go then. So going to my sit-ems, I think these are pretty safe sit-ems. Was very underwhelmed with this man's performance in his week 1, and his pretty little fumble there at the end of the game costing me $9,000. So I'm going to say Sam Darnold is my first sit-em. Was not impressed whatsoever. And he's going up against Pittsburgh. I think Mike Tomlin will have a good strategy for him for sure. Seattle just looked out of sorts all game long. So that's going to be my first sit-em. And I think this one is actually out, but I haven't seen the news lately. I've only heard it from my friends who are Niners fans, but I don't think Brock Purdy is going to have the best game this week against the Saints. He is battling some injury, and I did throw a bunch of interceptions this past week. Yeah, I don't think he's playing. So I'm going to have to skip over that one for sure. But Brock Purdy was going to be my sit-em this week going up against New Orleans. With the 2 interceptions, I just thought his decision-making was pretty unreliable this past week. And who knows, maybe it was just, him just taking shots down there. The Niners just trying anything to get things going, but was not impressed with Brock Purdy this past week.
Yeah, and then he's got a ton of injuries besides himself as well. Now losing Kittle as well, that's a big blow.
Absolutely. Going on to my running backs. This one was a shocker for the first game of the season, and I'm going to give him the benefit, and I'm going to start him again against another depleted run defense in the New York Giants. So that's Javonte Williams. Dude had himself a great week 1, 54 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, got a couple receptions in there, ended the week with 20 points. I think Javonte Williams will get some even more carries against the Giants. So I really like that stardom. And then going on to my second one, I think this man, Buffalo couldn't stop the run for anything. And I know they're playing Derrick Henry, but their interior defense on that D-line did not look pleasing whatsoever. And I think this man is going to continue his momentum, and that is Breece Hall. I'm going to give Breece Hall the start. I think Justin Fields and him are going to have really good weeks for fantasy.
I like it. 2 Jets already on the stardoms.
Yep, absolutely. And, I don't like to give my division opponents too much. So, but I think that Jets and Steelers game was pretty freaking fun to watch, and I was really impressed. So I'm going to go roll with them. My first sit-em, I'm going to go with our very own Devon Achane. New England shut down the running game very easily, and I am an Achane fantasy owner. Don't like the decision, but New England really did give Genty some issues, and they are the 7th best team against running backs for in week 1. So I'm going to give Devon Achane the sit in this week 2 matchup. Going on to my second one. This one is in the Green Bay. Okay, he was the RB 18 for week 1. and wasn't really too impressed. Watched a little bit of that game, was kind of rooting for the Lions. I had St. Brown plans. Wasn't really too impressed with this running back, but he did have 19 carries. We'll see what he does. Without that touchdown, he was going to have a pretty abysmal week one, and that's Josh Jacobs. You better just hope he scores for you, because if not, you're going to be in pretty rough shape. But he had 14 points, and that was with a touchdown, so it wasn't too pleasing. And they're going up against Washington, who was the second-ranked defense against running backs in week one. So I'm going to definitely sit Josh Jacobs.
Man, they have a short week as well. That's something to note.
There we go. Oh yeah, that is correct. They are playing tomorrow. Didn't just forgot about that. Going on to my wide receivers, going to go with my guy that I told you I was just watching, and I couldn't believe the lack of production he got in week one. So I'm taking him for a bounce back. He had 6 targets for 4 receptions, had 8.5 fantasy points on the day. That's Amon-Ra St. Brown. Going to give him the bounce back week. He's going up against Chicago, who was pretty good in their secondary, but I think St. Brown will get going in week 2. I trust in Dan Campbell and his staff to get a good counter action going and get him more involved this week for sure. And going to my second stardom, this man non-existent all the first game of the season. He was probably the least ranked wide receiver on week one. He only had 1 reception for 8 yards, and that's AJ Brown. You're not going to see that from AJ Brown. That was just out of the norm. He needs to rebound, and they're going against the Chiefs, who struggled to contain anything. They were the ranked 32 against wide receivers in week one. So that is going to be my first, definitely in my startups. AJ Brown rebound game. I love it. I'm taking it.
I'm with it.
And going on to the Siddums, going to go with the second one out of Cincinnati. Don't really know what was going on with the Bengals this week, and they're Jacksonville. Granted they were playing Carolina, but I do like the matchup they have over there for Jacksonville's defense, and that's T. Higgins. I'm going to sit him because I think if Cincinnati is going to get anybody involved, it's going to be Jamar Chase. They need to get him involved if they're going to be successful, and I think this will be a pretty good rebound week for Jamar Chase. I think they'll put a big emphasis on him to get him going. So I think T. Higgins will be an easy sit for me. And going to my second sit, it's going to be in Miami, battling the shoulder injury. If he's limited, so I think he'll play, but that's going to be Jalen Waddle. Don't got faith in the Miami pass game, period. But Jalen Waddle just getting hurt after every single play. Don't like it, so I'm going to have to sit him for sure.
And that's another thing. You might risk starting Jalen Waddle. He'll have a catch or 2, and then he's out the game for a quarter or quarter and a half. I mean, we've seen this story in Miami before. So that's the issue with Jalen Waddle his whole career.
100%. Moving on to the tight ends. Okay, good week for tight ends. And this guy, I gave him the start last week. And you know what? I'm going to do it again. He's got a pretty sorry, my thing just froze here. They're going to Chicago. They're going to be with St. Brown. Like I said, if Detroit's going to get anything going, I think they're going to get their passing game going. Sam Laporta, he was the tight end 5 on the week, had 14 fantasy points. That's pretty good for a tight end. You add a touchdown in there, I think he'll be pretty solid. I think he will score a touchdown this week for Detroit. So Sam Laporta is going to be my second one. And going on over to Cleveland, this pretty underwhelming week one for Njoku, but I'm going to give him the start. You're going up against Baltimore. They couldn't contain the tight ends. They were ranked 30th. So ranked 30th. So I think David Njoku will get a solid start over there in Cleveland. And that's going to also be my tight end. So I need him to give me 12 points. That's all I need. Okay. And that's solid for a tight end. So going to the Siddums, Minnesota out of wax all game long. Don't know how they brought back that game. It was a really, really fun Monday night game for sure. But this man was ranked the tight end 31. He only had 4 points in this week one matchup. And he's going up against a team that was ranked first against the tight ends, and that's TJ Hawkinson. Atlanta didn't allow a points to any tight ends this week. And I think that's just a pretty easy sit him for sure. And then going back over to Green Bay, we got Tucker Kraft and against Detroit. Oh, no, not sorry. I'm not doing Detroit. Washington. They are the ranked number 4 against tight ends. He only had 9 points against Detroit. And going up against Washington, I think it's going to be an even tougher matchup for him. And other than that, I really like the tight end matchups. I think it will be a good week for the tight ends. I think Tyler Warren will continue to get good production. But those are my stardom sit-ems, and I don't think I have any big picks this week. I think Justin Fields is going to have a fun matchup. I think Buffalo's got a lot of issues on defense, but they got a top 3 got a top 3 quarterback that could just bail them out of anything. So we'll see
Yeah.
how week 2 goes. I went 1-1, lost in your league because I didn't start Tyler Warren. So I got to be sure I do that next time. So
Yeah.
but yep. I hope you guys I hope you guys find that helpful, and we'll see what happens.
I lost by 0.4 because of Cairo Santos wanted to miss the field goal on Monday night.
Yeah.
And
At least you didn't lose $9,000 like I did.
yeah, damn Seahawks. We got a little bit of a statement / questions here. This is true. So the Bengals annual early season.
Yeah.
Usually you see these guys kind of struggle in the beginning of the season.
That is true.
Do you think that's something that we're going to get this season, or was that just okay, one game Bengals
I
are
think
ready?
we'll see. I mean, they have had slow starts the last few seasons, and then they've rebounded. But I do expect them to wake up this game for sure. But I think if anyone's going to wake up on that Bengals offense, it's going to be Jamar Chase. He's the man. They did pay both receivers, but Jamar Chase, top 3 receiver in the league. You got to get him involved, and I think they'll put a big emphasis on that.
Okay, and then I have another question. Isaiah Pacheco. What are your thoughts on his performance? Looked really, really bad.
Yeah, I will not moved at all, and I still think he's stemming the effects from the injury last year. He just hasn't been the same player that we've seen. Not too moved on him. I'm not even blown away from anything on that Chiefs offense right now after seeing their performance against LA. But if you have better options, for sure, yeah, I'd get someone else, but other than Pacheco. But you might be stuck there.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, damn, the Chiefs offense is a little bit weird, man, to be honest. Like Travis Kelce doesn't look like he's really, it's kind of the same thing from last year. Kind of looks like he's ready to retire. I know it's week 1, but doesn't look like it's like whatever to him. You got the injury to Xavier Worthy. Rasheed Rice is out. Pacheco looked bad. It's like you want to rely on Hollywood Brown. He had 16 targets, which was crazy. But I mean, the Chiefs are just pretty weird right now.
We'll see. I mean, they had their chance to get a stop and get back on there, but we'll see. You can never count out the Chiefs. Who knows? Jim Harbaugh might have that Chargers team revamped and playing with some fire on the defense, but wasn't moved. We'll see what happens, but definitely I wouldn't play him this week. So
yeah. All right. Well, this will wrap up the show. Jacoby, thanks for joining me. Everybody, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the thumbs up button. Follow me. Follow Jacoby on Twitter for more Dolphins content, fantasy content, you name it. And we will catch you here next week. Jacoby's got the Patriots winning.
Yep.
And I have the Dolphins winning. So we'll see how it goes down. And we will touch base on it next time.
Let's do it.
All right. See you guys later. Like I mentioned, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and we'll catch y'all next week. Peace.